Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. A little bit of a sweep week. We got a couple 8-game winners, the Twins and the Birds. Big baseball weekend. Trev's hyped. Let's talk ball. And Trev's back. Too old, Chris Rose. Garrett Crochet.
Ruffy Devers.
Oh. Oh.
Same team.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. I am Jake Storielli. That is Trevor Plouffe with Rob Scirocco producing his butt off as we get into the weekend that was in baseball. Monday, May 12th, Trev. Summer. I feel like we just got out of winter and now summer's leaking. How's it going on the left coast? Are you okay?
Blackout was just for the morning. I'm sorry I missed the up on Friday. I had a lot of stuff I wanted to say. All my research was done. I actually have my sheets for Friday right here. See you later. Everything's good. You talk about summertime. It's been hot as heck here over the weekend. So I had a little backyard barbecue yesterday at one of my buddy's house. Man, it felt good because it's been cold here, and then all of a sudden we got that good weather, and so I'm fired up, Pop. I'm like rejuvenated. Had a great Mother's Day weekend. Maybe a little shout out to the moms later in the episode. I'm ready to yuck some ball, Poppy.
Ended with moms last week. Might be more moms. Glad to have you back. You know, Chris Rose is great, but I know.
He's already mad at me this morning.
I know. I'm excited that he's mad at you. And we might have a special guest this episode. Tune in for that. And a lot going on. Congrats to Bud Black, not having to watch that anymore. Let's get into some American League Baseball. The way Dalton lined it up, the AL might be too juicy, but let's just get into it, man. And this will never be too juicy for Coach Trev. The Minnesota Twins sweep the San Francisco Giants, my dirty little secret team. And Trev's Twins get hot, baby. 8 in a row. Kersey Jr. with the walk-off in that final game. Is Brooks Lee happening? Is Trevor Larnach happening? Chris Paddock happened. Trev's going to talk about it. Stay tuned. How about my Blue Jays? Toronto, OVO XO. Drake's still out. They sweep the Seattle Mariners, who had won 9 straight series, arguably the hottest team in baseball for about a month. And the Blue Jays roll into town and give them the business. Your guy Bo Bichette with a couple multi-hit games. Addison, how's your burger? He goes big. George Springer's been great. They go into the Pacific Northwest and take 3. The Yankees head to Sacramento for the first time, and they take 2 out of 3 from the A's. The 2 game. If you won a game, you put up double digits. Trev's bet the over in Sacto still works out. Jason Dominguez, Martian sighting, 3-homer game. He pretty special. A's, Shea Bangeliers in that middle one, 4 hits. The Texas Rangers and Detroit Tigers teed it up for 3. And after losing the first one, Scooble, he looked good. Hitting a hunch easily. Tigers win 2-1. The Rangers, the offense came to life a little bit. Corey Seager, but he might be hurt again. But then Simeon, Young, and Heim all go big fly in that last game. Rangers looking for any good juju. They beat the best team in the AL. The Boston Red Sox take 2 out of 3 from the Kansas City Royals. And after that first game, 12 innings, no runs till the 11th. Royals ball gets it done. Boston bounces back. Would you look at this? Crochet and Giolito. That feels different. Also, Rafi Devers and the owner just getting lunch and getting hits. We'll get Trev's thoughts on that. The Astros take 2 out of 3 from Cincy. I don't know what it is with these Reds. Some days they've got a case of the can't hits. They get shut out in the bread game. A lot of that should go to Hunter Brown and Ronel Blanco. Reds in the middle game, Lance McCullers 10 runs in the first. So the Reds, you'd love to spread that out. Not what happens. Houston gets the set. Phillies take 2 out of 3 from the Guard Dogs. Guard Dogs put up 6 in that first game and shut out the Phillies. Here we go, right? No, the Phillies bounce back, and look at Ranger Suarez and Zach Wheeler. And oh yeah, Kyle Schwarber leading the National League in home runs with a 2-homer final game. Ranger Suarez looked good. Brewers and Rays, they sure played some Brewers and Rays ball. Every game low scoring and tight, like that a lot. Pat Murphy getting tossed. The Rays took the first 2. Brewers took that final game. The Baltimore Orioles, they take 2 out of 3 from the Halos. Boy, did they need it. They take the bread games. Sagano with another winner of a start. And Gunnar Henderson with his first big weekend of the year. Make that matter. And the series that we're going to dive into the most, White Sox and the Marlins played. The White Sox were the new unis again. Eric Wagaman played. Hey, White Sox called up Tim Elko and he hit a home run. That's big news for White Sox fans. That's what happened in the American League.
That was juicy, Pop. Way to get through that.
I'm a juicy guy, Trev. And before we get to the standings that I want, it's all brought to you by SeatGeek. Go see any of these teams with code TALKIN2025. You are going to save yourself 10%. And whatever you're looking for, wherever there's a seat, there's a couple good basketball games tonight. I might be going to one in the big city. Big game 4 coming up. And part of that is thanks to SeatGeek. Go see whatever you want, wherever there's a seat. Concerts, sports, festivals, NBA, NHL, MLB. Go see a game. The weather's changing. It's like 70 and sunny. That's baseball weather. Code TALKIN2025. Save yourself 10% with any tickets with promo code TALKIN2025 at SeatGeek. Trev, you got the standings.
I do, Pop. We're going AL standings here. You're getting rowdy. We're both wearing new Talkin' Baseball merch.
Ooh! Whoops!
We're going to start out east. We're your Yanks.
Hey!
In the series in Sacramento. They're 23-17. 2 games ahead of the Boston Red Sox, who were 22-20. Toronto, with that 3-game sweep, gets back to 500. They're at 20-20. Tampa, I picked them to go to the playoffs, I believe. Let's go, Rays. Pick it up a little bit. You're 18-22, 5 games back. Baltimore, 15-24. Yuck. In the Central, I didn't really add this up, but I think it's the best winning percentage division in all of baseball. Of course it is. 26-15 for the Tigers, 23-17 for the Guardians. They're 2.5 games back. Same as the Royals, who are 24-18. My Twins finally over 500 for the first time this season at 21-20. And then the White Sox 12-29. Out west, the Mariners, even though they got swept, still in first place, 22-17. The Astros 2 games behind them at 20-19. The A's still above 500, 21-20. The Rangers 20-21, and then the Angels down there at the bottom, 16-23. And those are the standings in the American League.
Thank you, Trevor. And I don't think I'm going to say this a lot this year, but I am excited to start with your Minnesota Twins because it's 8 in a row. God, the AL Central, that's what you need to gain any ground on these teams. I mean, the Royals were rolling before the Sox came into town. The Tigers, same. 8-game winner from the Twins. Trev, it was getting bleak. And like you, I was going to see if I needed to backhand you a little bit. I won't. You're former player on the Twins. You do media for the Twins. Like it's not just talking baseball and geefing and goofing. You're on the broadcast. That sometimes you got to think about how you say it, not what you say, how you say it. You were saying some tough stuff on the Twins, and something clicked, or the baseball gods kicked in. I guess you let me know what's going on in Minnesota.
Well, I'm honestly always going to give my honest opinion on the Twins. I don't want to be a homer guy. There are times where I might want to, for lack of better terms, put lipstick on a pig because, I want to have the people watching have fun. But I don't think there's a problem with me like going after the Twins and kind of, telling them what's happening. That is my job.
Right.
Especially here. I was going to send you guys a screenshot of the AL Central standings on Saturday where the Tigers had won 5 in a row. The Guardians had run 3 in a row. Kansas City 7, Twins 6, and the White Sox 1. So they were on a winning streak. I didn't end up sending that. But yeah, they've been playing a lot better. The Twins specifically, I mean, they've been throwing the ball well for quite some time. In this series, Chris Paddock giving them a great start.
Yeah.
Going into the 8th inning and doing it. That's huge for them. But, that's just been one component. The bullpen, like Danny Colome has pitched really well for them. So like they're finding arms in the bullpen. they already had, the high leverage guys at the back, but the pitching has been great. And then it really has kind of just been timely hitting, different guys stepping up. Larnick's been good. My main overall takeaway on the Twins, I think this year has been the one thing that's been different and made them still kind of believe, even when they were gone, is Byron Buxton being in the lineup almost every single day. That's kind of been it. Like, he's played really well, and I just think there's something to that. We'll see, man. Like, Royce Lewis got his first hit this year. Like, he needs to get in his legs a little more. I was talking to Morney about that. Like, his swing doesn't look like it usually does. Like, I don't know if that's a little fatigue in the legs, coming off an injury, whatever it is, but they're playing good ball, man. Like, they're playing a lot better ball. And the Giants here, they just didn't really hit this series. I guess you could talk about Twins pitching more, but that was kind of it. Elliot Ramos had a nice series, kind of like diving all over the place, hitting some homers. But the Twins get the job done, man. I mean, I honestly don't know what that means for the rest of the year. Like, they have the potential, Jake, but you got to go do it.
Seeing that one Buxton stat, I think after game 1, he had multiple hits in 13 of the last 23 games. So that's always cool, because sometimes we see these on-base streaks, and at a certain point, Schwarbs is in like 46 right now or something. I mean, that's obviously awesome. But sometimes you go look at a guy's got an 11-game hit streak, and 10 of them are one hit, and you're like, okay, like, hey, I appreciate you helping. Byron Buxton is affecting games, and I couldn't believe the team pitching stats. They are throwing the pill, which the Twins had that rep for a couple years there, and then their pitching coach got stolen by a college team, and then I feel like that kind of went away a little bit. I'm happy for you, and we were trading away Duran, we were trading away that whole bullpen. I had Pablo Lopez in different unis, and now in the American League, the Twins have salvaged a summer, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early. It's May 12th. We got to keep going, Pop. We got to keep going. The pitching was supposed to be a strong suit, so that shouldn't really be a surprise. Although sometimes I look at the rotation, I'm like, we could use like a true ace, and then Joe Ryan's like skipping off the mound. There was at one time I actually texted him this. He struck somebody out looking on a 3-2 like front door fastball, and like hopped off the mound big time. And then he got the last out of the inning. And as they were going to commercial, it was Incubus playing, Joe Ryan just looking hot, and I was like, this is my simulation. Like, I'm running this simulation.
We've got more sim talk coming, per usual, like every episode. Giants, they would be the second best record in the AL. It's the third best record in their division. And you never want to say they were due for a dud. Like, hey, they ran into the wrong team at the wrong time. Which
tough road show. I think they went 2-4. Cubs, Twins. Don't mess with the Central.
Don't mess with the Central. Trev, another team that put together a big weekend. One we would not have if we were previewing series. The Toronto Blue Jays. They sweep the Seattle Mariners in the Pacific Northwest. Like I said, Mariners had won 9 straight series. We've been excited for them. The offense gets out. They never score more than 3 runs in a game. And these Blue Jays, Bo Bichette has a nice series. Springer's been great all year, having his best season since 2019 so far. And yeah, I have Addison Barger circled just a little bit because I think what he can provide. It's so funny going back with these Blue Jays teams needing like left-handed hitting, that maybe he can be the guy that does that.
Yeah, him and Lucas for sure. A great series for the Jays. Obviously, you get the sweep, but in the bookend games, they got out to big leads and were able to hold it. In the second game, they come from behind. We got Varsho robbing my guy Ben Williamson of a homer. For both of these teams, I feel like it's really hard to put like a stamp on exactly where they lie. I know Seattle's played great. You mentioned the series wins in a row. Is, I guess, the question coming after this, is this just one series where the bats kind of went cold, or is like the regression coming? That's so mean.
Trev, I think the bigger point, my Yankees are heading to Seattle, so let's see what that looks like. But also, no, you're a Mariners fan. You're coming off a season where you you lost a massive divisional lead very quickly, pretty early in the season. I think it goes to show with baseball, like the Mariners who have won 9 straight series, like that's a dream. Now they're sitting at 22-17, and it's still early enough in the season. There's like that, just that little moment of panic. If we have another bad weekend, we have the same record as the Twins.
2 games back of Houston's 2 games back. The A's are 2 games back, and the Rangers are 3 games back. So like they expected a tight race in the AL West, but no, I mean I think more kudos needs to go to the Blue Jays and how well they played, and maybe they get back into the race in the East as well.
If you want some Yanks, we do a show called Talkin Yanks. I guess for me, my biggest takeaways, the A's. I wanted to watch them because we've talked about them a little bit. They have the higher end talent, like between Rooker and some like Jacob Wilson. They have guys that can compete. Their depth pieces, I don't think are on the same tier as a lot of the better teams in the AL.
Depth pieces, I think they're going to have to add a starter if they want to continue to compete here. But this was bet the over is right now. The ball is absolutely flying. I guess my question to you for the Yanks, like shout out Jason Dominguez and Ben Rice, big series there. And then Shea Bangaliers salvaging the series for the A's in game 2. My big question to you, I guess, is like, what's Will Warren? Because every time I see him pitch, this guy's absolutely filthy. Is it just a little inconsistency in his like strike throwing ability? Is that what it is?
A little bit. It's the evolution of a young pitcher. He has a major league fastball. It's like, okay, we can work off of that. And sometimes he has a major league changeup. Sometimes he has a major league sweeper. The location, throwing them for strikes. It's going to be very interesting to see how quickly he matures, because a lot of the pitching nerds like his stuff. But the Yankees right now, they need innings. Ryan Yarborough's in the rotation. Basically his first rotation stint since 2019. So, the Yankees are hunting for innings. And if Will Warren does take this step, massive for the Yankees, because it's hard to put win streaks together. It was Will Warren and Cookie Carrasco twice a week.
Cookie's out now, right? He got designated.
He gone. Yarby in, and he's been
a hell of a career. Shoot.
He's been sharp. Trev, Rangers and Tigers. We had a pair of brothers on Mother's Day. You might hear more about that coming up. For me, dude, Jock Peterson and Evan Carter both hit their first home run in the same game on May 10th. I mean, it's been my frustration with Texas, but again, the Detroit Tigers have been the best team in the American League, that hopefully they can start getting a couple notches on the belt.
This is something interesting here, Jake, about this. First of all, this is like a starting pitchers, like this is what made the series. Obviously, Skubal has been phenomenal since his first 2 starts. I think he's got a .9 ERA after that. So my Cy Young pick, looking like he's back in the race. DeGrom goes 10 Ks in 5 innings. He looks absolutely filthy. And then Nathan Eovaldi's been just absolutely special. He's my guy.
Yeah.
What a freaking career he's put together. But did you notice the season that Patrick Corbin is having?
Yeah, how about that?
For the Rangers? I mean, he matched Skubal in the first game. He goes 7 innings, pitched 2 earned runs. I mean, good on the Rangers for finding that. But this, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this series here. Seager back in the lineup obviously helps the Rangers immensely. 2 home runs in that second game. That's a huge difference maker, because that offense needs to get going, and he's obviously the main cog in that offense.
I know, and I think he tweaked his hammy again, so they're going to see today what he needs to do with that. A little more on that series later. A little more on this series later. The Red Sox, as their drama continues a little bit. Trev, I'll be honest. The big one for me, I mean, the Royals winning a game in the 12th inning when they didn't score a run, that feels Royalish. The big thing for me, Big Lucas Giolito, man. This guy, like, I know you're close to the situation because he's one of your LA friends out there, but man, he's gone through a lot, and he spoke openly about how the injury was weird, and being in a clubhouse where they don't they know who you are, but they don't know who you are. They haven't seen you come off the mound after 8 shut and you're the guy that day and all. Like, this had to feel really good for him, and you start dreaming up of playoff rotations if the Red Sox can pick up that steam and get there. He's a big part of that.
No, I mean, this is why they signed him, to be this guy. Like, they didn't sign him to just be a depth piece. They want him to be a stud at the top, a 2 or a 3 in their rotation. And yeah, it was a great start for him. And yeah, the emotions for him have to be just through the roof after sitting out, a full year like that. This one, I do want to talk about the first game because Freddie Fermin ends up walking it off for the Royals. But in what inning was that? I think it was the 10th. He tries to bunt off Chapman. Good luck. You always say, hey, we got to get the bunt down. I mean, that's one guy. It's insanely difficult. He ends up striking out because he tries to bunt. I think it was a 1-2 fastball, tried to bunt it, fouls it off. But then he ends up getting the knock after Biggio got the bunt down to 12. So I thought that was a little fun little cat and mouse game there. But yeah, Red Sox, 2 games over 5, 2 games back of the Yanks.
Right? Okay. Seeing that 2 games back of the Yanks, I was like, oh, I didn't know it was like that.
And I never got my chance to speak on the Devers drama. I'm going back and forth, Pop. Like initially, right. I think like most people would say whatever the team needs. That's just what you're trained to say. That's just kind of like, honestly, it's like how you should feel. Like, hey, man, like I've put my time in. I'm established myself. I'm the face of the franchise. I got the biggest deal in franchise history. Like it's my time to give back. And like he didn't do that. So I feel like there is just some sort of, he obviously did not like the way the offseason was handled. And then I can't believe in the offseason they weren't like, you might play some first base.
Right.
Like for them to say, put away your glove is so silly because injuries happen. And like, hey, maybe Casas needs a spell. Hey, Devers, you can go to first base. Like I always say first base is more difficult than people give it credit for.
Right.
Because it is. But for a third baseman to go over there, it's not that. I mean, the learning curve it can be pretty quick. Like you can figure it out.
There's a world where he's like a plus first baseman.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's interesting. I'm glad they like nipped it in the bud and went out there and had like a real conversation. But I do feel like Cora is like he like they have this great relationship. Right. Like Cora should be stepping in. Like he should say, Brez, let me handle this one. Like obviously this one got personal. Like let me handle it. I don't know. Doesn't matter because he freaking raked.
Yeah, he went nuts.
So like, hey, do that, and like everyone will forget all of this, BS drama.
Winning cures everything. And that's what happened in Houston this weekend. I mentioned Hunter Brown and Ronel Blanco. You might hear a little more on Blanco later. Trev, it's tough. The baseball headline from this series is death threats to Lance McCullers, which, hey, people, like we got to be better as a society to that. I guess for me, I don't know. These Reds are back to being the frustrating Reds for me again because they can come out and score 10 in the first, or they can get shut out the other 2 games.
Yeah, we had a Will Benson sighting in that second game.
Guy.
10 runs in the first. And then in the bookend games, it was Hunter Brown and Ronel Blanco doing their thing, which is kind of what you expect out of the Astros. I mean, 2 out of 3, you get beat down, and McCullers, doesn't get out of the first. That's going to happen from time to time. Yeah, we do not need social media threats. People relax.
Relax.
Astros look good, man. They look really good.
Altuve starting to look a little more. Don't write him off. Don't write him off.
No, I mean, again, they're 2 games back of the Mariners. Like we've seen this story before. Like no one should be shocked that they're right there. Like blood in the water, shark coming, man.
Feel like I know how this one ends. Phil's in the Guards, 2 out of 3.
Good series.
Ends on Sunday Night Baseball. Zach Wheeler just with what feels like his normal start, 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs.
It does, doesn't it?
Right? And we get like bored with it. For me, Ranger Suarez with his first good start, I think since going to last May. And then just what Kyle Schwarber is doing. It feels like he's now entering a new comfort level of you didn't think Kyle Schwarber could be more comfortable. He looks it right now.
Yeah, this is an interesting series because I feel like it kind of played out, all these games matched up with these team strengths. Like the first game, Gavin Williams gives you a good start and the bullpen comes in. You got a couple guys hitting some homers. Manzardo, he's been inconsistent at the plate, but the power stroke has been there. So Guardians win that game. And then you have Ranger coming in and doing his thing, Wheeler coming in and doing his thing, and Schwarber continuing to get on base. Like sometimes the Guardians offense doesn't show up, and we saw that in the final 2 games. And then sometimes their pitching shows up so much that they win those games. I mean, they're incredible in one-run games, but the Phillies, I think right now, Harper has the big insurance homer before they kind of go off in game 2. They feel like they're poised to go on a big run. That's kind of with Ranger back, and obviously Wheeler doing what he's doing. I think Nola's got to figure it out a little bit more. He's been pretty inconsistent to start the season, but the Phillies feel like a team, for me, that's about to go on some sort of run, whether it's a series run like the Mariners just went on, but they look pretty good.
Trev, it's, the NL standings are coming, people. They're not there yet. But, man, we've talked a lot about the Mets. We've talked a lot about the Cubs. We've talked a lot about the Dodgers, Padres, Giants. After this week, the Phillies are there. They're 24-16. Like you mentioned, Ranger adding to that rotation. And if he looks like that guy, every pitch out of his hand looks the exact same, even halfway to the plate. And then you're like, wait, that was a 78-mile-per-hour sweeper? Go Phillies, go. Trev, these last 3 AL, I know Baltimore and the Halos. Baltimore really needed a series win, and you're going to talk about one of the guys in there. In Milwaukee, in Tampa with Milwaukee, I think the highlight for me might have been Pat Murphy getting into it with the umpire, because that just gets my testosterone going a little bit. So I guess of the hodgepodge, White Sox, Marlins, I think you guys know where I stand. But did you see this play, Trev? This is the interference at third base. The Brewers end up losing. This run is allowed to score on the play. Caleb Durbin with the tag, and there's big Pat Murphy. My God, you don't want that.
I don't know. At home plate, you're supposed to give a lane, but on the other bases, like you almost have to give them the entire base.
I don't
right. Like that seems how they're interpreting the rule. I don't know, man. It's such a, like that to me, like you're out. Like you're going to catch the ball, you're moving your body to where the ball is. I guess he was planted a little bit before, but that's the entire base is there. That's kind of crazy.
The rules are confusing to me, and it feels like it shouldn't be.
You just got to get behind the base a little bit. You have to expose the entire front face of the base. That's crazy. That's too much.
And why?
I don't know.
Because
some people broke their fingers.
Okay,
don't dive head first.
Don't say it like that. Orioles, you're getting some flowers in a minute. Let's do some National League. And it's tight because we threw a lot in the AL, but the Dodgers and Diamondbacks, and you're getting some Dodgers talk coming up in a sec. They split 4, and we got another insane Diamondbacks game, code for bullpen problems, but it's highlighted by Shohei Ohtani, 9th inning. We're going to watch that highlight a couple times. Brandon Pfaadt's been really good for Arizona. These two teams split 4 in the desert. Cubs and Mets, the PCA Bowl, and the Mets win the bread games. Clay Holmes with another great start, and same with Griffin Canning, man. This pitching continues, and Soto's getting hot, and Lindor is balling out, and Vientos. The Mets formula makes a lot of sense. Cubbies, a little bit of a skid here. I think they've lost 4 out of 5. That's fine. Tell you who's not skidding. The National League's Twins, a.k.a. the St. Louis Cardinals. They sweep the Nationals, which makes them our best Western Road Warriors. How's Eric Fetty? They have their own 8-game win streak. Eric Fetty, his first career complete game shutout. Andre Palante went shutout into the 8th inning. These Cardinals, have not lost since May 2nd. They are blowing out their opponents 44-16 over that stretch and one game behind the first place Cubs. Go Cardinals, go. The San Diego Padres took 2 out of 3 in Colorado, and they lost a man his job. / what did Bud Black do wrong? Padres, they put up 21 in that second game. Don't ignore the Steven Kolek 9-inning shut piece because of the 21 runs. Maybe you should. Rockies win on Bud Black's final game. And then this one hurt me a little bit. The Braves, man, trying to build them up. They've been winning a lot of series. They lose 2 out of 3 to the Pirates. The last one is in dramatic fashion. A Joey Bart walk-off after the Sean Murphy big pinch hit to bring them back in it. Pirates, game 1 ended their 7-game losing streak. Here they are winning a series against the Braves, and that's what happened in the National League.
Boy, there's a lot of good stuff in the National League. I got the standings, though. I'm going to read them to you because I know you want them. Out east, the Mets are in first place at 26-15. They're a game and a half above the Philadelphia Phillies, who are 24-16. The Braves, 19-21, 6.5 games back. Look out. National, 17-24. Miami, 15-24. In the Central, the Chicago Cubs still maintaining a lead, but it's slim, razor thin, Jake. 23-18 for them, 22-19. One game back are the St. Louis Cardinals. The Brewers, one game under 500, 20-21. The Reds, 20-22 now. And the Pittsburgh Pirates, after taking a series from the Braves at 14-27. Then out west, the Dodgers, best record in baseball, 27-14. Only one game above those Padres, though, who are 25-14. The Giants, 3 games back at 24-17. Arizona, 21-20. And then the Rockies, your Rocks. Kelsey Wingert's Rocks, 7-33. New manager coming. And those are the standings in the National League.
Thank you, Trevor. Thank you, Trevor. Let's get into this National League. It's brought to you by BetterHelp. BetterHelp. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Let's talk numbies. The numbers, people. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session. That adds up fast, but you can save on average up to 50% per session with BetterHelp. It's a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big on costs and time. Therapy isn't just for major life curveballs. It teaches you to set boundaries like a pro and become the MVP of your own life. BetterHelp makes the process as easy as watching the game from your couch. 30,000 therapists and 5 million people helped worldwide. So, your well-being is worth it. Visit BetterHelp.com/TalkinBaseball to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TalkinBaseball. Trev, you mentioned a juicy NL. You want to do LA and the Snakes?
Let's do LA and the Snakes.
What juicy? Because I saw on Friday... The Friday night Snakes, I think there's something going on there because 14.
What are the records in those crazy games? Were they like 0-3 in those crazy games, or are they 1-2?
In my head, it's 1-2. I can get in there in a second
because we're talking. It was Snakes,
Cubs, Snakes
was
Mets.
In Chicago. Snakes and Mets was one. Didn't the Snakes play the A's and have a crazy game too?
I mean, I'll get in there now. Okay. Rob, I think you had the Shohei homer. I'm in this weird spot where we still freak out when Shohei shows emotion, which it's like, I get he's normally pretty stoic, and even the people of Japan have a reputation for that. He's shown a lot of good emotion on the baseball field, and a 3-run homer to win a 14-11 game. Yeah.
Okay, a couple of things on this entire series. First of all, people are saying he was mocking Gurriel, who hit the grand slam, put his head down, put his arms up like that. There's no way. I'm sorry. Like, there's no way Shohei is paying enough attention to what Gurriel is doing.
Okay.
That's in my mind. Maybe I'm freaking wrong. Maybe he is, and he's petty, and we just don't know it.
Right.
Like, I don't think Shohei cares that he did that. I don't think he's going to do that to mock him. I think he's focusing on his own game, right?
I think he's a pimp. Yeah, dude. I think he just won the game and was enjoying it.
Walking with the limp.
Huh.
Here's the thing. The Diamondbacks could have swept this series, Jake. Like, that's the bottom line.
Dude, that's been every series, it feels like.
Like, okay, my guy Ginks, he comes in and kind of gives it up there in game 2. But they win games 1 and 3. with throws really well. I even DM Corbin Burns how nasty he looked.
Yeah.
So then if they win that game too, they could go into the fourth game of this set with Zach Gallen on the mound. Now, obviously, they got to him and Gonsolin looked really good, but I guess that is a microcosm of the Snakes season. Like, they've been so close. But, like, there's one game over 500 right now, Jake. The bullpen issues have been real.
I know, and it's very – so looking at their games, in recent, it's the 14-11 with the Dodgers, 11-9 with the Phillies. That was in Philadelphia last week. They had an 8-7 with Atlanta that went 10 innings. And then I think 13-11 loss with the Cubbies. And there's a couple even borderline in there. But those aren't normal baseball games. And right now it's their pitching, man. And I don't know. It feels like they have the parts to do it, but it hasn't happened. It's their schedule is so choppy. There's one little win streak, there's one little lose streak. Otherwise, it's just every other day. It feels like.
Yeah.
A little more Dodgers coming up with a special friend in a minute. Mets Cubs, the PCA Bowl.
The PCA Bowl. I think he's over it. I don't think he really cares.
I think he's over it. I don't think Mets fans are.
No, yeah. They're wishing he was suiting up for them. Good series here. I mean, this is big time for the Mets. I mean, the Mets are good, and again, I keep going back. I left them out of the playoffs. Feel stupid for that because obviously they found a pitching lab that works, but their offense is also like really strong, and they showed that this series. I mean, they played homer ball in game one. I believe they hit 5 homers in that game, and then Clay Holmes has a great start. Brett Beatty tried to play hero in game 2, just kind of fell short there. He had all 5 runs driven in for them. Cubs get that W 6-5 though, and then Lindor hits a 3-1 homer to give them the lead. Then they kind of open it up. They scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th. So like they have a starting pitching staff that's giving them innings and good starts. They have a bullpen that's been locked down, and they have a lineup that I think is getting better and better and longer as the season has gone on. Vientos, Beatty, McNeil, like these guys showing up as of late has been really obviously great for them. They're a powerhouse, man.
Lindor 6 homers when leading off an inning. That's the most in MLB this year. They've been in the National League, which is stacked. They've kind of been the most consistent, ready to go week in, week out. And I think it does start with the pitching. I know the hitting started slow, and it like, dude, seeing Vientos get some good swings in, and remembering when he got going last year, it was kind of
a difference maker,
right? And I'm not saying it's going to be that, but I don't know where his stats landed last year. He was a difference maker. That if he found that swing, like the Mets may not have played their best baseball yet, and that's crazy because they've been one of, if not the best team in baseball.
And Cubs need to figure out some bullpen help. They got to go get it sooner than later, I think.
Yeah. Trev, I called them the National League's twins, which was supposed to be as complimentary as it was backhanded. Here are the Cardinals. We had our joke early on this year. We're like, oh, the Cardinals won a few games. Let's keep our eyes on them. They had a rough patch. Now they're back with the W8. It's against the Nats, who we haven't been as excited for, but you win 8 in a row in this league, you start talking, and Wilson Contreras, who had a tough start to the season, he's now contributing. And I mean, this Cardinals pitching, I feel like it's been a joke for a couple years a little bit. And now, I mean, they had a huge weekend.
So, look, I wanted to give the Cardinals their due justice. Is that even a term? I don't even know if I just made that up. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But I tapped in Katie Woo, our favorite.
Yes.
Our Cardinals reporter. Just all-around ball knower. And I said, Katie, look, I know they won 8 straight. My Twins, your Cards were the best teams in baseball. Like, give me what you think. What's going on? What's changed? And she really said it's been all about the pitching. I'll give you some of the stuff that she sent me. The rotation leads the NL in innings pitched. They don't blow away anybody with velo, but they do a great job of pitching to their strengths. A lot of weak contact. Their defense has been really good. They lead baseball in team outs above average. So contact plays when you have defense that good. Makes sense. Love that. Matthew Liberatore has been a stud this year. She said they've committed to him being a starter, and he's just run with it. She did say the biggest thing for this winning streak, though, has been the bullpen. Like Matt's he's a swingman now, so it's allowed them to have a better bridge. Maton, how do you say this name? Leahy?
Leahy?
Can we get on that for me so I don't sound like an idiot? And then obviously Hellsey's been great. The winning streak, the Cards bullpen has allowed 2 earned runs in 20 innings.
Kyle Leahy.
Okay. That's how you put together a win streak right there. You get the lead, offense does enough, and you don't let the lead go. 20 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, man.
Hey, and Victor Scott with a little hit streak going, and if he's one of those guys, the way he plays defense, if he can hit like he has recently, 1.5 WAR on the year, 290, 357, a 760 OPS.
I think this is a younger team than we give it credit for, too.
Okay.
In my mind, that kind of makes sense. Like, some of these guys have been around for a while, but like they're still like pretty young.
Yeah.
So I'm into that a little bit.
Arenado and Wilson Contreras are the only 2 guys starting every day in their 30s. The only 2 position players in their 30s. So yeah. And Lars Nootbaar, he's put us through the ringer of who are you, Lars Nootbaar. He is putting together a really nice season.
Good for the Cards, man. That makes me happy.
Right?
Your front office talks like the way they were talking in the offseason. The stuff they got going on is very strange. As a Cardinals fan, you're probably like, what the hell is going to happen this season? Doesn't seem like it's going to be great for us. And here you are, second in the NL Central, above the Brewers.
Sometimes you just need to reset. And that's what
little reset. I used to do that on the Super Nintendo. Reset.
Just reset. Never happened. Unfortunately, what's happening in Colorado happened. Bud Black fired.
It's his fault.
It's his fault. As we always talk about managers on this show, it's his fault. I don't know. Padres embarrassed them. You got one of the best teams in baseball versus the worst. A business trip for San Diego. Like, let's get the stats up. Let's have a weekend. They lose the final game. Tough. But Bud Black goes out on top.
He goes out on top. After the game, they're shaking hands like happy. Obviously, they won a game. And then, he gets the bad news. Shout out Stephen Kolek for his complete game shut piece and the 21-0 win. I don't have much on Bud Black. I mean, obviously, he's not the problem, dude. Like, the players aren't getting the job done. Now, whether or not, like, the messaging has gotten stale, sure. But anything will be stale, bro. The freshest loaf of bread in the world, Elvish bread, even gets stale when you're losing as much as they lose. So like him and Mike Redmond, they're old school. They've been around the block, and maybe they needed a new voice, but maybe it's probably not it since Clint Hurdle is now their bench coach. So
new voice,
exactly a new school voice. I don't know, man. We'll see. I think obviously it starts with ownership and the ability to go out there and sign the right players and the front office to take advantage of the weird field you have. We always talk about that. They really haven't done anything right over the last several years, Jake. And it really doesn't start with Bud Black, but he is gone now.
Go Padres, go. Last series, Braves Pirates. I don't know. Braves. I feel like I've been driving the Braves bus, and this one took some steam out of me.
Pirates could have swept.
I know.
Pirates could have swept, man. All they have to do is score that run in the 10th inning. Atlanta doesn't score. All you have to do is score the run. They even bunt Key Brian Hayes, who had his first. I was listening to that game. Shout out Neil Walker. Sounds really good on the broadcast.
Wow.
My guy. He's kind of my doppelganger a little bit.
Oh.
Like just too handsome third baseman. But he where else did he play?
It's my favorite story you've ever told is the you and Neil Walker mano a mano as 17-year-olds.
Yeah.
Trying out against each other.
Yeah, and we were boys even then. We didn't even really care. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. We're fine.
We're good. I like you being like, you know what, dude, you play for Pittsburgh. I've got.
Yeah, it's kind of your thing.
I'm going to the Lakes.
Shout out Don Kelly. I mean, gets a series victory after Shelty gets fired. gets thrown out in the second game, which is
Yeah.
pretty good. I think, is he from there? He's from Pittsburgh, isn't he?
Don
I think
Kelly?
he's like calculated in that. Like he wanted to get tossed. Like
Feels
let me make my mark. I want to be fiery. I want to do this. I want to fire the guys up. Like I said, like playing the game a little bit differently, having Key Brian bunt, first ever sack bunt in his career, which is crazy to me because he's not like some offensive powerhouse.
Right.
You think he'd have done that more often than not. But yeah, they could have swept this series, man. So I don't know what that means for the Braves. It's not good.
It's not good. Don Kelly, if I'm seeing this right, is from Pittsburgh. And I think he's related to Neil Walker.
They might have like some sort of sister married or something like that.
Yeah, I think. Wow. Okay.
I love me some Don Kelly. I remember Don Kelly on the Toledo Mud Hens and the Detroit Tigers. That's my Don Kelly.
Yeah, Don Kelly, 9 seasons in the league, negative .2 career WAR. We don't care about that. Brother-in-law to Neil Walker.
There you go.
So look at that. Everything's coming up Pittsburgh for a weekend. Hey now, a little talking baseball treat today. Special guest Rob Lowe in studio. Can we yuck some ball with you for a second?
Let's yuck ball.
How we feel? I joked when you walked in. How you feeling about your Dodgers? How could you not feel?
I'm so thrilled. I'll tell you the thing I'm most happy about. I'm most happy that San Diego and San Francisco are overachieving.
Okay.
Because there's a world where we could be sitting here and the Dodgers could be up by 10.
Right.
And I don't want
And then
that.
your summer's kind of over.
Well, and also, complacency,
Yeah.
the notion that they got to grind still is great for the team, I think. I'm super excited about them. I'm Tony Gonsolin yesterday.
Right.
He's back, shaved that awful hair off.
It's tough,
I think
man.
that's what it was. I think he got right when he got rid of the bad hair.
He looks
like a badass.
He was living up to a persona, the Catterday and all of that.
I don't know if that worked for him.
I think we can put that behind us.
I think we put all the Catman shit away. It's like, it doesn't intimidate. I'm not intimidated going up against the Catman.
No.
It's like with the cat lady. It's like, but he looks good. They all look good. I mean, Yamamoto, potential Cy Young winner.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
We've been doing it sucks because we do this with a lot of baseball players. We don't talk about this guy enough. But Yamamoto, it's kind of like Shohei takes a little bit of the shine from anyone in his orbit. But Yamamoto's been one of the best pitchers in baseball.
And, you got a guy like Will Smith putting up those RBIs, and he gets completely overlooked, just quietly, maybe the best catcher in baseball.
Yeah.
No, it's great. I couldn't be more excited, and everybody in Dodgerland is super pumped. And in all seriousness, I love that we have this rivalry with San Diego. As one-sided as it is.
Right.
And,
I was waiting for that.
And, they're sweet.
Oh, no. There's a lot of bookmarking going on right here by our Padres fans.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're sweet.
They're sweet. Yeah. Trev, you got anything else? We got to put Rob through the John Boy Media ringer over here.
No, I mean, I totally agree with you on the Dodgers. I think not only the NL West, but just the entire National League in general is so good this year that the Dodgers are going to be in the playoffs, but I'm stoked to have to see them actually. They're going to have to go through some really good teams if they want to go back to back. It hasn't been done since Jake's Yankees. And, the regular season is going to be a cakewalk. They're going to make the postseason. But once they get into the postseason, I think all bets are off.
All bets are always off. We've seen it so many times. I have some questions for you guys.
Okay.
You guys, the experts. Okay. Orioles. Let's talk Orioles for a second.
Okay.
Explain to me. The owners got literally $1 billion. I don't get a sense that there was a whole lot of movement in the offseason. And now I know they have a ton of injuries. But is this one of those cases where there was a window and, I'm just curious because I would have thought after the last 2 years that we would be talking about them. And we're talking about them in the wrong way now. And I love seeing them do well.
It's a beautiful stadium. It should be like one of the fun franchises, but Trev, it's been horrible.
It's a new owner. He came in saying he was going to come and change things around. They had this young core that they got from the draft because they were so bad for so long, but they just didn't add any pitching, any pitching depth or any real starters this year. And then you're right, the injuries happened to the starting staff, and they've just been trying to play catch up ever since then. And right now, sitting at 15-24. Some of the young guys have kind of like not been as good as advertised. Maybe Jackson Holiday, though, he started to swing the bat a little bit. And Gunnar Henderson, we're going to talk about later in the show, that he's found his stroke. But yeah, I think the main thing is they just didn't go out and spend the money that their owner kind of promised they were going to do. And they just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I don't really get that. Then let me ask you this: what's the Red Sox controversy?
We'll see how fun that gets.
I mean, look, you've got to take Bregman. If you get
right.
him,
he's been awesome too.
You have to take him, and he's been great. So that's that, and I understand it. But why don't you immediately go and say you're going to change position, not DH? The guy's a great fielder. I don't.
So that's where they have a lot of strong personalities that I think it's a little bit of what they said, and I think they were being dramatic about Devers. You don't need the glove anymore, but like, you're a great hitter. You're going to be the next David Ortiz, and now a month in, the first baseman gets hurt. So yeah, it's the owner flying out to get a meal, break some bread.
I heard that.
I don't know. He played fantastic over the weekend, and that's when that happens, a lot of problems go away. But yeah, it's salty. It's like ex-girlfriend, bad time.
Yeah. See, that's the other thing about the Dodgers is they have multiple people who are going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And every single dude is like, where do you want me to play?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? How can I be helpful?
That matters.
And they're like amazing dudes.
Yeah.
Humble, amazing dudes. They don't brook any bullshit in LA.
Yeah.
They just don't. They won't have it.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on in Boston, because that is not typical. I mean, what you're saying is typical. Like, guys willing, especially if you have your massive contract, which Rafael Devers does. After that, you like, I just want to win. That's the only thing you say ever.
Right.
And so for it to get to where it got, where the owner's flying out, I think there was some contempt, I guess, the way they handled the offseason. But at the same time, I just feel like if you're Devers, you just say, look, man, like, I got paid. Thank you. And yeah, I'll do anything to help the team win. But he didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, not at all.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's very unlike Boston too. That stuff doesn't usually happen in Boston.
That fan base will turn quick.
And it seems like there's the Cora side, and then there's the Craig Breslow, the GM side. Like, it seems like they're not on the same page, right? Because Cora could just come and say, hey, Dev, like, just relax a little bit. Like, he seems like he has that relationship with him, but that he didn't do that.
Something's up for sure. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Well, we got the Literally podcast. We got a new season of The Floor, and we've got horror movie?
Got a horror movie
okay.
Coming out called The Third Parent. It'll be out for Halloween, but Literally podcast. I know there's a lot of podcast folks listening. It's I've done like 100 episodes of it now. I got everybody on it. You can go to wherever you get your podcast, and there's everybody from Chris Pratt to Gwyneth Paltrow to Robert Downey to, I mean, almost everybody's on it, and it's sides of them that you're never going to see because only I know those folks the way I know them. And so I think it's very revealing. If you're at all interested in cool people, have a listen, have a download, as they say.
Will do. Well, thank you for coming through a little bit for me. Say hi to Matt and Johnny.
I will for sure.
Man, this is more so for the people, but I was like, okay, meeting Rob Lowe's kids. Who are these handsome, rich kids gonna be? Awesome dudes.
Thank you.
Awesome dudes.
Yeah, they're good dudes.
Yeah.
And they helped discover. I mean, they were early in the John Boy universe.
Right.
Early participants.
Cool. Thank you, Rob.
You betcha.
It's time for Standout Performances. This guy stood out for Trev.
Say what?
Standout Performances is brought to you by DraftKings. Baseball is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't miss a second of the action with our partners at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you use code JMBaseball. From the start of the season, beautiful spring to the end, and beautiful autumn, DraftKings has you covered. Same game parlays, odds boosts, whatever you're looking for. New customers, use code JMBaseball. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code JAMBaseball only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Trev?
Coach, I'm going with Gunnar Henderson.
Yeah.
My guy on the baby birds, or just the birds now, maybe. On Sunday, he went 2 for 5, had a double, had a homer, had 2 runs driven in. Jake, the Orioles have not been playing good baseball. They've won consecutive games only once all year, Jake. That's not good. They do get the series victory against the Angels. In that series, Gunnar goes 5 for 13. But more importantly, in May, he's been really going off. So entering May, here was a slash line, 228, 268, 413 for the 681. That's not Gunnar. Coming off a little injury, just he wasn't himself. In May, though, Jake, it's going to be May. It's going to be Gunnar's time. 351, 400, 622 for the one daughter in those 9 games. So he's coming. And maybe that's like the Orioles haven't exactly done anything in May either, but maybe this him getting going will spark something. Jackson Holliday's had a few changes in his stance. They still need pitching. I don't know, man. I want the Birds to be good. They just haven't been, but Gunnar has been a lot better lately.
Yeah, and a borderline special top 3 MVP season last year. So if he starts bringing that, there's going to be a ripple effect on the rest of the lineup. And you just got to change the vibes, and they got to start winning series. And maybe the Angels are a sign of that. I'd like to see it against a team that's not the Halos, but
they're playing the Twins this week.
Here we go.
After just getting swept by them.
Speaking of the Twins, my standout performer is Ronel Blanco. And you're saying, Jake, what's that have to do with the Twins? Well, Ronel got off to a slow start to the season, including his second game of the year. He got knocked around by the Minnesota Twins, 1.2. He gave up 4 earned runs, didn't get through 2. Since then, in 6 starts, Ronel Blanco has been 35.2 innings pitched to the tune of a 303, and that was capped off by 8 innings of 2-hit ball, 11 strikeouts against the Cincinnati Reds. And Trev, I think in today's baseball, the bullpen's always there. Like, I don't know, if teams used to feel it a little more. Like if a pitcher went 3.2, it was just like, oh, okay. Like, or that used to be a nightmare. Now it's like, oh, he had a bad day, and the bullpen actually, they pitched 5 innings shutout after that. The day before, the Astros bullpen had to pick up McCullers, 8.2 covered by the pen. So big Ronel, you're going out there, dude, and you might have to wear it. Like we don't see that a ton in Major League Baseball. Well, we didn't see it this weekend because Ronel didn't have to wear it because he went 8 innings shutout, career high 11 punchies, throwing his breaking ball. I think 75% when runners are on base. So that's kind of his get out of jail free. A big boy start from a big boy. And I was daydreaming about Red Sox playoff rotation. Houston, if they get Ronel being back to the guy he was when he broke onto the scene with Hunter Brown, Framber, they have their recipe. Big start by Ronel Blanco.
I know I'm buttering, I think, stats all over the place right now. He had a blow-up start you're talking about with the Twins. After that, he's been really good. He's kind of like been exactly what they needed. Nothing spectacular, although he's pitched to a 3, like right on the dot since that start. But there, yeah, I mean, I guess you can say about the Astros, like they are who they've been. New faces, but this is the thing. They got new faces, but the holes they had to plug, Jake, they plugged them with quality players, right?
Yes.
When you lose Kyle Tucker, that's tough, and you lose Alex Bregman, that's tough. But you bring in Paredes to play third base, you bring in Walker, and like they just play good ball, man.
I know,
and Blanco does a huge job stepping up after McCullers had that start for sure.
I know a lot of their guys can handle right-handed pitching. All their guys, they're pros. They're the Astros. Their whole lineup right now is righty. Their whole lineup. Something about that doesn't sit right unless they get Caratini in there. I don't know. They get Yordan back. Would love a lefty acquisition for them at some point. Trev, there's always a lot of good standouts. I mean, the Martian, he got turned down. That's fine. That's whatever. Hopefully these guys end up on En Fuego.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
Jake, these guys were red hot. We'll start out with our guy Devers. We talked about him. A lot of drama off the field, on the field. He don't care. 7 for 12 in the series. He's crushing right-handed pitchers, a 63% hard hit rate. That's the best in all of baseball. So if you're a right-hander, look out. Addison Barger. Never seen me and him in the same room, have you? Third baseman for the Toronto Blue Jays. 6 for 13, 3 doubles, a homer, 5 runs driven in the series. Hit his first homer of 2025 in Sunday's game. Shout out him. Gavin Sheets has kind of been doing it all year long. Sneaky. Nobody's really talking about him on a team full of stars, I guess. He was nasty. 7 for 15 in that series in Colorado. 3 doubles, a homer, 7 runs driven in. I talked about Gunnar doing what he's been doing. He has an OPS of just 224 with 2 strikes this season. That's the lowest in the AL. So if you start to improve that, the overall numbers start to go as well. Gunner's a stud. I'm sure he'll make that adjustment. Brett Beatty with the big series. We talked about him. He recorded his second career multi-homer game on Saturday. He went 4 for 8 in the series with 3 homers, where the Mets get the series victory. Elliot Ramos for the week has been on fire. Man, he's fun to watch play. I got to watch him obviously more intently as he was playing my Twins, diving all over the place, right-handed oppo pop like you read about. He was 10 for 20 on the week, Jake. 3 doubles, 2 homers, 7 runs driven in. Speaking of 2 strikes, Gunnar not doing it with 2 strikes. Ramos doing it with 2 strikes. 353 batting average with 2 strikes over the last 2 weeks. That's third best in the National League. Ryan McMahon sneaking in here. 9 for 18 for the week. 2 doubles, 3 homers. Shout out to Colorado there. Shea Langeliers, catcher for the A's, 8 for 21. 2 homers, 7 runs driven in. 381 average on the week. That's good. Lindor, he's a man. He's a stud. Yeah. He's the guy, Jake.
He is.
Watching him play, like when he first came up, you knew he was good, but I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer, man.
Yes.
Love that. And for the week, 9 for 25, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 7 runs driven in. 4th leadoff homer on the season on Friday. He's batting .410 and slugging .821 in his first plate appearance of the games this season. That's exactly what you want out of your leadoff man. Get the game started on the right way, and then obviously later in the game, he's been freaking clutches as well. 16 runs driven in late in the late innings this season. That's the most in Major League Baseball. Now we move on, Jake, to the pitchers. Yeah. I'm going to give a little love to the pitchers. That's fine. My guy, Chris Paddock, man, I've been kind of mean to him.
For
being honest, I do a Twins show with the Score North guys, and I said I want David Festa in the dang rotation, and that means that somebody's got to go. He had his best start of the season, 7 1/3 innings pitched, only 1 earned run. He's been really good over his last 2 weeks. So maybe that's a sign of things to come for the Twins. Maybe he's trade bait. I don't know. We talked about Will Warren. 7 1/3 innings pitched, 1 earned run. He has a first pitch strike rate of 75% in his last 3 starts. That's good for him. We talked about the location. Got to get ahead with him. That's great. Corbin Burns had a great start. 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. He's allowed an on-base percentage of just .242 versus the .234 hitters this season. That's kind of what you want to do. Limit the studs. Atta boy. We just talked about Ronel Blanco. How about Herman Marquez in Colorado? Stopping the losing streak there. He goes 7 innings pitched on Sunday with only 1 earned run against a team that just scored 21 runs off you the night before. That's kind of how baseball works. That's the first time he's done that, though. 7 innings plus. It's the first time he's done it since September 16th of 2022. It's been a while. Shout out Marquez. That's who I got, Jake.
Let's get him on another team. Let's get every Rocky on another team. That was a weird shower thought I had earlier today was, right now, the example around baseball has been Griffin Canning. He was the worst pitcher with the Angels. Now he's great with the Mets. And we've had examples of that. Has there been a Rockies pitcher that left Colorado and just was nails? Like Tyler Anderson kind of came to mind, but he's had some up and down. Like, I don't know. It's just a weird little thought exercise. Because again, if we're gonna blame the field and the stadium,
where was like Ubaldo's years? Was he Colorado first
I believe
and
so.
then left?
Yeah. And I think he was,
He was worse when he left Colorado.
yes.
Interesting.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, Griffin Canning leaves the Angels. Tobias Myers leaves the White Sox. And it's like, oh, look at this. Like, I don't even have
So you're saying it's just bad scouting and bad.
everything bad. Why is Clint
Everything
Hurdle
bad.
in charge? Anyways,
Okay.
might be a nice guy. Speaking of struggling, here are the batters who are struggling. Luis Rengifo, 3 for 30, an OBP of 233 with the bases empty. He needs the juice. Get on base for Luis Rengifo. Let him drive you in. Let's get him on some trade deadline wish list because I think he's a really fun player. Nolan Jones for Chris Rose's Guardians, 2 for 27, 074. What happened?
I don't know.
Chris Rose said the at-bats looked better, but when you're slugging 0 on elevated fastballs, I feel like that could be in the scouting report. Cedric Mullins, he was kind of carrying Baltimore for a little bit. He's in a 6 for 45, 091 on inside pitches. Get your hands in. Lowest in the AL. Ozzie Albies, 9 for 51, an on-base percentage of 118 with 2 strikes. Worst in baseball. Ugh. Young Wyatt Langford, he's joined the Texas Rangers struggle bus, slugging 143 against starting pitchers over the last 2 weeks. That is the lowest in baseball. So, it's great to hear your guys' names. Let's see you on En Fuego next week, maybe a standout. Or let's not see you on this list, because this list is the IL. And going on the IL, Andres Jimenez for the Blue Jays right quad, couple weeks. Emmanuel Valdez hopping around for Pittsburgh, some left shoulder stuff. Hayden Wesneski, right elbow, listed as a month. Let's see. Good young pitcher for them. Jake Fraley with some calf stuff, hoping for the minimum for Cincinnati. Romy Gonzalez, one of those first base solutions for Boston. He goes on with a left quad. And then Casey Mize, man, that's a bummer. Left hamstring, 2 to 3 weeks. He's been one of the more fun stories in baseball this year. And talk about stock rising. Former 1-1 pick, throwing the ball well. You start looking at the money, things can get interesting quick for him. This is where the show takes off.
Awards!
We got a return from the IL. Rob,
I was gonna say,
I get
yeah,
excited. I get excited too. Jake Cronenworth, my guy.
My guy.
My guy. You
I don't think
stop
so.
it. Ivan Herrera, remember the 3-homer game? I do. He's back. Tyler O'Neill, Austin Hayes, and how about Zach Eflin back for Baltimore? Let's get some pitching. That's how you get some wins. Do it again.
Awards!
Yes. Oh, the best.
Kelsey's first Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Kelsey.
Happy Mother's
first
Day,
one?
Kelsey.
Love that. I'm giving the I Love Young Moms Award.
Oh.
And I think a lot of guys out there are like, yeah, man, love the young
Hell
moms.
yeah.
Hell yeah. That's not what I'm talking about, though. There was something special going on in Detroit. I don't know if you saw that. We had Jace and Josh Young facing off against each other. So brothers playing against each other, both playing third base. Start playing a little bit of tic-tac-toe out there. And you wanted to ask me about that. That's actually a normal thing. I don't know how often it happens in the big leagues because there's cameras everywhere
Right.
and, kind of like is a bad look. Sort of. I don't think it is, but like maybe it could be misconstrued as that. But minor leagues, like you write messages in the sand or the dirt, excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a thing. I've played tic-tac-toe with the other shortstop before. I didn't initiate it.
That's
didn't
what I
really
was gonna.
like it,
That's
to
what
be
I was
honest
gonna
with you.
ask. I was gonna ask: is it premeditated, or do you just walk out there and you see a tic-tac-toe board, and this is baseball Jumanji?
Yeah, you just walk
basically?
out there and you're like, "What the heck is
All
going
right.
on?" Third base is a weird position, Jay, because you get people messing with you all the time. Like the dugout's so close. Like I've had guys
Right.
that throw gum at me all the time, like flicking seeds, whatever it is. But so yeah, the young brothers just playing tic-tac-toe against each other. But obviously, because Mother's Day happened yesterday on Sunday, Mary Young came out throughout the first pitch. She had the split jersey on, Jake.
Yeah,
And I love me a split
I do
jersey.
too.
It's like, how could you look at that? And I know watching Olivia watch our kids compete in sports, like how much she like enjoys it. But to have both your kids playing against each other at a Major League Baseball game, throwing out the first pitch, obviously Dad is proud, but it ain't about you today, Dad. It's about the moms.
Right.
Those studs, those. You raise some boys, you feed them right. They got those big old necks. They're in the show. Now I want to say, Jace, you were 0 for 6 in front of your parents during the series. Josh, the favorite son for sure, because he went 3 for 11 with the homer on Mother's Day. But I just love it. Shout out to all the moms. I didn't get to give a premeditated or a pre-Mother's Day shout out on Friday's show because I wasn't here. Mother's Day is probably one of the best holidays of the year because you got to show love to the moms. They take care of you. I love my mom. Shout out. I sent Olivia away on Friday. Took my mom and her mom, my mother-in-law, out to dinner with the kids. It was really nice. So shout out to all the young moms out there, especially Mary Young and the Young family.
Beautiful, Trev. Shout out to the young moms. Young mom. Man, awards, we try to hit something that hasn't been hit, but it's kind of the story in baseball, so I want to do it just a little bit more. It's the Winning Cures Everything award, and it's something I bring up to you a lot. It's something, it's just true in sports, man. You're out there to win. These guys, everyone's a competitor. Like, sure, you get your own stats, but usually stats come from winning, and if you're winning, things are good. Ask the good people of St. Louis. Ask the good people of Minnesota. How do they feel, today than they did 10 days ago? A lot better. Winning cures everything. We had the owner, John Henry, taking the PJ with Craig Breslow down to go meet with Rafi Devers, and Cora's involved. Man, for a lot of baseball stories, I love baseball, so I don't want this. Sometimes baseball stories are for baseball people. They don't have the juice outside of baseball. They don't have the Real Housewives energy. Boy, does this. And Boston fans, this isn't Yankees fan taunting you and being like, oh, this has a chance to go the other direction. Because after Friday, Devers goes out. He's only gone out once in Saturday and Sunday's game. He hits a homer that's essentially the game winner on Sunday against Seth Lugo, who, by the way, finished second in the Cy Young last year. Dead center in Kansas City. You been there, Trev?
Have I been to dead center in Kansas City? I have not. I've been to left field.
Okay.
A couple times.
That's fine. When Alex Gordon wasn't robbing you. Guy who moved positions.
He did move positions. Me and Haas chopping it up on X.
Love that. Winning cures everything. When I saw the Boston Red Sox were 2 games behind the Yankees, I let out kind of a what? Like, the Yanks have been kind of consistently winning. The Red Sox have felt so choppy. They could turn some water into wine here, and that might just be a Teen Juice reference, as I've been watching some Righteous Gemstones, but like, Devers' numbers on the season, up to 398 on base and 888 OPS. They keep winning games. He keeps hitting. He's going to look like the king of the world. And Rob Lowe mentioned it a little bit. Like, that city can be tough. They just like good sports, man. And Devers
want to win.
Devers provides that in what he does. So, dude, I just cannot wait for the next chapters. But if he keeps hitting and they keep winning, I mean, it's going to be a beautiful, angsty relationship.
Here's my question. Does this happen if they have the cameras following them around like they did last year? Like, does it get to that point? Or are they like, hey, guys, this is silly. We can't have this on Netflix.
I don't know. I think it still happens.
Is very Real Housewives. Like, the stuff, the kind of like the backhanded stuff that has been said between Breslow and Devers. And it's an interesting situation. But at the end of the day, once you put your spikes on and go play ball, you don't really think about it. You're out there trying to, to win, hit homers. That's what he does, man. So, yes, all he has to do is go play good ball, and it all will be forgotten. I've given my thoughts on it. I don't like the way he handled the situation, but it is kind of his situation to handle. And I'm not privy to all the conversations they've had. Maybe Breslow was a dick to him. I don't know.
Right.
Look, I've been mad at the front office before. Like, it happens, dude. It's your career. I get that.
The
only thing you can't do if you're Rafael Devers is do this and then struggle, because that's
Right?
when it gets bad.
Right?
If you do this and say what you want to say and then freaking rake, it's all that matters.
And I don't know, man. I've watched a decent amount of Rafi play baseball. I think he's about to turn it up. He already has. In his last 9 games, 471, a 550 on base, 1.2. And it's the weird thing for a guy that's been an incredible baseball player. It feels like the full year hasn't happened. Like, he's got all these high to mid 8 OPS seasons. Like, he's got more in that. And Trev, I did this with Chris Rose, and you definitely didn't listen, and that's fine. You know what Rafi Devers is leading the league in?
Ooh. What is he leading the league in?
I would never have guessed it.
I don't know.
Walks.
Oh, whoa.
31 walks. A guy with a career 347 on base is getting on base at a 398 clip this year, and is on pace to lap his career high in walks. So that eye usually gets better as you get a little older and you get more reps in this league. And if his eye gets better, just watch out. He's a problem. I want to see it unfold, and it's not in a jealous New York City or twisting the knife way. This could go really well for Boston because it's a city built on just a little bit of angst.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Let's see. Let's see together. Thank you, everyone. Fun one today. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back for the midweek.
Jake Stucks.
Oh,
You know, new Pope
yeah.
from Chicago. Everyone thinks he's a Cubs fan.
White Sox.
He's a White Sox fan. Since he's been the Pope, Cubs 1-2, White Sox 2-1.
Oh. So,
Hand of God over the White Sox. You never know.
hey, go White Sox.
Is he the hand of God? What is the Pope?
I saw the fans cheering. I was happy for them.